right. I original TV. A free side recording say bebo non do international. Yeni koma mamu nyina akwa ba mede ndi kwaku owusu agye pato. Na ene ye ko street. Ghana say ye pa ye ho aye hu yasnem. Da bia ye ka na yaka na yaka. And I'm saying tin e ba say and I'm saying tin e ba say. Na every time bia na nkomo no need akwa kohia pa because yaka akra bi me ka se kakra bi a obi aka say 2 years there doso ba do bebo ani atene na aso ne to aba ndizo ye dan a ya sha ase ya ye ka se eye dan akosen ya sha ase ebu akonta enti ye san susu bu nkomponi akohwe echi se ye be ne dan because all nim say Ghana bato no I to set tefra hwe ase wan na ya obutu na say the 30 pan say COVID-19 na akoka be kan yen ana face Ukraine talk anu so na akoka be kan because say wo hwa bibia abutu say fu oboa aduane boa say nsem no o kan sign wa kan say but ya sha see busa say eye den na akokoba ni say anu ye pi ana eba MPP ni NDC obia e kan de we see me bae me yesi we see me beto no na enye nti se sen ene sitie ebraso se ebetena se na yedi nkoma fa ne ma binum a ehia yen e wo man no bi esa ti ne itra ye ukọ NDC amanyoko no mu a omo mabunu nyina danfo eye youth organizer era George Opare Addo a lawyer a friend Pablo onu na youth organizer the National Democratic Congress Pablo akwaba bibia eboko de Ameyaw na nkopo ase first time amabusa NDC ni say oho te say a waka Ameyaw a watwa so ubusa NDC ni say oho te say a lecture and will be ready for a lecture but say minister dey aka ewochi na aye Kofi Ameyaw and so head of information
now do my answer what was here
head of information permanent friend say permanent mission I United Nations Ghana permanent missioner United Nations on the head of information or say MPP ni mapa opani akwaba
ye nyabra
bibia eboko de
na mini medini na so
bibia
si ase ya che
santona ayi omukọ ba bi one abusia pani na obi bon bomo ka no se ho ani Judas no se we se me bremonsa o se aden na me nkwa obo mi di a o se obre yensen me hu wache se bibia eboko de
na mini medini ye obo aden medini na so
nyankopon da Roma na se asa abu abomo me kan MPP for
wo kwan ben so
access bibia yedin bibia kroma yehye abeba ono nyum no kroma yehye chese obia etia nyema aya nwonwonan petro a oto ayento se aduane a okodwam eno so ho asem chese bibia obetimi aboso bia beka ho asem bia no eho ayedin nti adan
Rakoku ma minchia na minchia Pablo. I think this is the first time I'm mission. Na minchia hwefo so na minchia no anope bi nkoma Opani Stephen ayesu in team national chairman hopeful of the New Patriotic Party. Wasem na obisa no nokre na aban endwane mfini ho se enwomamu ayede. In fact say o kan budget statement November ye photo sam for ononyamfo Ken Oforiata de betu dwa gina omampania na paragraph 20 no say wo America kan 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 to support your question. I'll say
paragraph 20.
Mr. Speaker, we are under no illusions as to the economic challenges facing our country today. How to ease the sufferings of Ghanaians, transform the economy to create jobs and share the expected wealth across all households are what keep the president awake at night. How to broaden the revenue base, keep a grip on the expenditure, protect the public purse, and at the same time build with urgency the needed infrastructure pay the bills and stimulate economic activities are the orders he has given to us, his ministers and other appointees, to carry out over the next 3 years. So this is a clear admittance. In fact, say, oh, Kaya, minu shia oho, mampenya be di echire ewo kaswa. Yesu krom. And also, I admit, say, without any cause, things are becoming difficult and hard. And no more yeding, and no more air koso. And of course, there are reasons. Makani say, you know, senka yadia answer no me pese Ghana for ejitum prekope. Say yejitum. O question now be we are not naive. Yenye say yebu nyebu yasum ni yentie di ekoso na say bi yaye odwanfunu say bi yenso sikan. We understand and appreciate ne maybe yana metie radio programs here and there. And nyoma bo okosoro trade union congress omo penny no Dr. Ban also ne kasakra na
for being
ne kasakra sisan he used to be very calm. I say before wom and justifiably so because clearly no enyoma mu bo ayedin what I say and enyoma mu ayedin we admit but the wom any no kre wom ne say bi enye peculiar to Ghana Kofi by bi wo ho bibi na ma we akoba. And that is not an excuse, but a reality that the air coso, which includes a coronavirus, latter parts or ending of 2019 up until I think 2022, we are na no kakrano. Ebedi ye nyapa, and ye didi dimuana Russia ni Ukraine force tokano, and also abe senior. Now, okay, Bio, to answer your question specifically and the general perception, say, I say the BBA COVID Ukraine war. Me perceive me Marty say even before Ukraine war, November in the same budget statement, paragraph 4, say Bio be makanya kebe me depa. Or say, Mr. Speaker, almost 2 years ago, Ghana confirmed its case. Kosovo can say COVID-19 pandemic, which swept through the world, has upended and exposed the weaknesses in some of the critical structures and systems in education, health, economic life, communities, and everyday family life. So, you have to preoccupy. Say COVID by no, you know, as on mine, especially in our economic and social life, no. I bet that's an your manedi. Ama ya mani ananki ye team da danka. Say be yesu so nenka kanka krase be you know. Ama aye din say betimi eyi Ghana for because unemployment was existing. Ya ba ya na montua akoso say be adwumayefo aketua enso omudi and montua na ekokoso the structure of the economy which was dependent on just exporting raw products, and there was a very bold attempt to ensure say we will industrialize the economy through the one district one factory until COVID struck. So the point the MPP, the government, making it say, yes, and you're more idea. But it will take us, and it say, okay, as someone, your man penny, Nanado Danko Kufado can, or say, Yanim Kwanya, ebetimi ama economy, no, aye. Opening person will pay attention to the asemo kind. Yanim Kwanya, ebetimi the economy, no, as a bank. That is a clear admittance that the economy will be dead at some point. Economy, no, and I see that 72 and a back from. And you must be a ding. It's say, so if you have a situation where about 4 billion of your revenue is lost as a result of the fact that COVID naba, also close to borders. Who close to borders, I mean, say neighboring countries, no, or muntimin bediga. What close to airports? Ebi muntimin kon ebi metimi aba. All the revenue that would have been accrued at the airport, no, and back. What to 2 schools more? Even for government public schools, but private schools as well. And we have a lot of private schools across the length and breadth of this country. And they were closed. So that means, for 2 weeks. And this is a major, 2 major cities, the economic life of this country. So with all this effort, for example, you're feeding for 11 million students, I'm talking about students and staff, are buying for 2.8 million. And my January 450,000 people are on cooked food. The attempts and then the effort to mitigate and contain the coronavirus, no, had its cascading effect, and on a economic challenge in mind. So clearly, an amount to a 2 yen, so. But that notwithstanding, once we admit say no more, we are also saying say we know how to bring the economy back to life. At the same time, we are 2 and more, for example, we share some of the decisions directives are thereby so that government on its own will reduce costs. For example, expenditure. Government expenditure has been reduced by 30%. So, say Ghana for any year junior muti and comma. The year can cosine say, O share the year cosuni na Ghana kwa. Oko US, for example, inflation cost to UK, Germany,
and you have been telling us, you have been telling us the fact that we are aware say and the person who say steps buying it take say they solve our problems and now evident and more anamọ no a mutuo no etie on them channel then na ekire say munim said the economy was going to be dead.
True.
Then ekire say must start a resurrection process be and there in there na Ghana form fire ni ensiso ni ehun say indeed the economy was dead, it's been resurrected.
The kind. The facts and figures point to the fact that at some point we were doing almost negative growth. And then we are 4.5%. The kind. So then you photo some for a press statement. And I will name to you later. And I'm going to reduction in some of the fuel coupons, government expenditure in itself. That means 30% admittance. Making sure say domestic revenue because and that is through the unpopular e-levy to ensure one nyuma emebunu enye binye no ebetim diska akọ akọpe nyuma momo aye Ghana fo hia akwan me no ka say wo hwe akwan ayeyi for I don't know any government in the history of this republic wa construct wa habilitate wa upgrade na wa ye akwan yie owo memu more than Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo amembo no se wo hwe eye enwoma o se ye ema economy ni gina ye boy ho modern wo hwe adano auction Bank of Ghana e dey buy to give to the PDCs no which has culminated into making sure say there's a way fuel prices no are stable kakra wo hwe na muntu a ye tu a ye dey foreign reserves kakra to cushion the economy in terms of dollar no ama dollar no bo no so and our dollar ni cedi no so are relatively better. If you look at these attempts that have been made by government, say Ghana ye import driven country. Nti obi $1 the rate at which at some point no dollar no cost no and said the air cost. So there have been some attempts that have been made to ensure say Ghana in the right now no sisia no omo helm but in the long term no while World Bank and a report a newspaper indicates that it's forecasted say Ghana economy will grow and will do better. In the meantime, Nadia said the mechanic, you two person your mama, but a bad way to an amount, a bema your home, iron high and kakaka. A bini examples here, I must state it to you.
Pablo, wait me, I can cancer sim we actually my Bruno say, Ubeshia MPP Nibi, na Niama or de at what she says, see, I'll be a man, na come Antonium, na Bibia fine. Things now they have admitted. Nipa they are some tour now Kasamijitum said the air cost no saying it here. Nemum ye 200 amount and near the other.
That's one of my main chair with here for more share. Na Kofi Ameyaw
Madam,
he has one of the most difficult jobs in this current dispensation. Especially if at this time, so you're NPP communicator. But I like two things he said here. The the honest admissions that they have failed. And the second admission or admit to say they are helpless in the face of the challenges that confront you. I think in America, sir, the current economic outlook Ababe and Kofi, and consistently, so you know MPP for they tend to blame the woes of the economy on COVID. But say you cannot crash one. That cannot be the case. The World Bank have come to tell us because when they come and face us in this country, they come with contradicting figures. World Bank and so the figures for Echo. The World Bank have come to tell you, as early as 2019, the economic outlook for Ghana was bad. Now, UTA Union MPP for they take credit where credit should not be given to them. And they are always quick to use 2017 economic figures as the yardstick for our measurements. Meaning, every economic policy, say, the original TV decided, say, or ABI owner or running office into or the new management bar. Now, original TV, new management starts a bar. Within the first 3, 4, 5 months, Afina Obabe draw the program. Afina Obabe passing the budget. Within 3, 4, 5 months, decisions, policies are hodom. Me gidi se Oba on because the all policies are by in a they will run on all policies now, kakransa and new management, the policies are taking effect. No economic policy, and I'll be the immediate effect of it within a year. No economic policy. In 2017, we passed my budget in March 2017. You run on the budget of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama from 2016 November. Budget outlook near the core parliament. That's what you run on. And so I'm going for my case before about in 2017. Mama Babe draw my budget. If granted, you have the magic one. It's mobile, From March till about August, your budget started operating. Which name said that is not feasible and that is not possible. So if you look at the positive economic outlook in 2017, they cannot take credit for it because none of the policies are never effect at that time. And the policies they introduced. If you want to assess more economic policies, take it from 2018, 2019. And so from 2015, we saw a downward trend of inflation and air buffer. They came to inherit it. Remind you, now World Bank, IMF, and policy credibility, when they came, they did not leave the IMF program like they promised Ghanaians. They stayed with the IMF program until 2019, and a more exiting program. And immediately they exited the program. That is when the woes of this country started. And it cannot be true. So the challenges that confront us started during COVID. Young granting said COVID was so bad, and Ababe say all the gains they've made. Let me ask a very simple and ignorant question. The borrowing, excessive borrowing now, borrow. Did all that borrowing take place during the COVID era? And then the international rating agencies are rating are downgrading to see their ben. Was Ghana the only country a COVID that hits here now? What about the other African, the IMPS? Look at Cote d'Ivoire. Cote d'Ivoire is your immediate neighbors. Let's look at the economic outlook in Cote d'Ivoire and compare it to Ghana. Look at the growth of Cote d'Ivoire after COVID. Look at the currency of Cote d'Ivoire after COVID. Look at prices of food. Look at inflation rates. Yen kwetre. Yen use Cote d'Ivoire here. COVID hit in Cote d'Ivoire now. Was our situation any worse than that of Cote d'Ivoire? Cote d'Ivoire is the world's leading exporter of cocoa. We are the second exporter of cocoa. But the year crop with the advantage. We export more oil than Cote d'Ivoire does. We export more gold than Cote d'Ivoire does. Why is the economy doing better than here? What is the current inflation rate? Post-COVID, you're planting for food and jobs. Why are the food prices skyrocketing? So if the NPP will come out and tell us, you're failing more, and that we are looking for pragmatic measures to solve the problems, Ghana for will be more amenable.
But Pablo, we are seeing in the okay say a year COVID. You see, if a year no COVID-19 crap, but look at what is going on world over. Obia so including Kofi, and so yesua echiro mo ayini soba. Everybody is obviously not seeing top.
No, I cited Cote d'Ivoire.
Next door neighbors.
Obia ehuso, but are the levels the same? And yet the level of mismanagement of this government is what have led us to where we are. Let's not blame other factors. Let's say when we started blaming it on COVID, the World Bank came to tell us as early as 2019, now you're messing up your economy. We all acknowledge the fact that the world is going through a phase. And every reasonable human being say, post-COVID, the world will have to recover. But the levels are not the same. Levels in Mpensenmpensenmu na yewo enyepe. Baby a ene ye gina.
There's a nyina so ansa na ewo.
We did na ye ni nine na ye gina so. And it is not coming from George Opare. Maybe I'm a politician. World Bank they say government should not blame our problems on COVID because before 2019, before 2020, COVID now the government had already failed. At the end of the negative outlooks in ratings say Kofi. Now your next door neighbor Togo, a ratings in Kofi. Mind you, our currency is the worst performing in the sub-region. Your currency no. Now let me ask ignorantly. Your granting post say COVID a Pascal Empire. COVID I hate Ghana and Kwana. I hate Togo. I hate Benin. I hate Cote d'Ivoire. I am not going beyond your boundaries. I hate Burkina Faso. Even war-torn countries that have seen coup d'etats, are doing better in terms of economic outlook than Ghana is doing. Just around here. We are the worst performing economy in the sub-region. So this excuse of COVID is neither here nor there. Sanka, a pandemic we are hate Ghana and Kwa. Then we can isolate the case. No, ni akase yare we and a boy yen. Intino yare ne ba ya boy yen no. Yenya na yen so. And based on ABCD, that is where we are. But you see, in all this, Ghanaians will even be kind to our buying way if we see some austerity measures on the part of this government. Ghanaians will even be more receptive to some of the statements on we know.
Oh, but government are taking expenditure so by 30%.
Pato, when you tell me the government are taking expenditure so by 30%, say this to TUC. Say this to the labor unions. Just 2 days ago, so 3 days ago, there's a director of research at Trade Union, Dr. Bibi. If you listen to his arguments,
yeah, or say on one kasabeli amount for alcohol to more government honor.
If you listen to his arguments, and then you listen to Closac for, and why they are demanding salary increases, and why they are demanding neutrality allowances. Now, catch up with the government to reduce expenditure.
That's allowance, no go say on my view. Neutrality, no. Because say you need what's that? Not say neutrality. Yeah, neutral. Neutrality allowance also on my.
So if you tell any of these workers this, they'll get upset with you, and I'll tell you why they'll get upset with you. Because you see, the government say where reduce the expenditure. Let me see practicality. The budget to the office of the president has been increased more than 60% in the 2021-2022 budget year. So if that budget has not been reduced, now guys, the way reduce your expenditure, I'll get upset. When you're on the verge of getting e-levy passed, if we say a president could fly a commercial or could Dubai summit, we all got excited. Immediately e-levy was passed.
Oko Dubai.
Yeah, Oko Dubai or the fly commercial.
Oh, Oko Dubai or fly commercial.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Because it was around that time and e-levy na babe ton issue and on per passing. Immediately after passing of the e-levy, the following week, or yeah, 4-3 nation tour, Kofi America, by Europe, and I'm so far Asia, oh baby.
They'll call America first, no? Say no, call America fly commercial.
Baby,
He
flew commercial
to
Europe.
To a very nice or Pentem.
To Europe, and then the luxurious private jets now you can't want them. It's not left here, another year trips in the year. So if you tell me that you are cutting expenditure, and I see all this lifestyle of the president, I will leave it to our Arabian prince. How do you expect me, the Ghanaian worker, to react? And on Pahon, people in public service who are political office holders. I don't know from Article 71 office holders. No. What share omo allowances ni niyama omo gusu edge. On Saturday, that meeting news file and I me kakra.
CSOs no more salaries no.
SOEs.
SOEs, so sorry. SOEs no.
The political office holders no woman, not the main staffs.
The political, I'm talking about CEOs of
CEOs
SOEs.
of the state organizations. Who take some of the allowances they more. And then in the face of this economic hardship, and they are still enjoying the salaries. Now the country is what cuts the government expenditure. Which areas of government expenditure are you talking about? Because I was so baby school dying mommy. Now we'll stop it, the building of a school. And you come and tell me, say, what cutting government expenditure? It is an insult to the intelligence of the ordinary Ghanaian.
Instead, Nkadea now,
say, you're cutting government expenditure. The first thing you look at is the size of your government. Côte d'Ivoire, in the coming days, reduce your ministers. And I'm continually using Côte d'Ivoire because we are on the same bandwidth. So the first step you take, government payroll, political appointees now government payrolls. Once you bring some austerity, to a moment doorstep, when the Ghanaian people begin to say, where do you see the size of your government? Number of presidential staffers are a good flag staff also. In excess of over 600. The question is, what is their remuneration? When you reduce all those figures and you come to us as a people, say, the budget for the presidency increased by 56%, almost 60%, but reducing by another 40%. Because the number of ministers are more 180 something, by reducing about 60 something. The number of staffers are more 700 plus, by reducing about 200. The number of travels are now within the year. Sikase and my budget from today, may fly private BM, commercial. When we see some of these things, then we will know that we are all in this together. May see chief executives, almost salary ranges near allowances and anomoji, but travel until such a time your economic outlook will be improving. Then you restore confidence. But not when you are living like Arabian prince and then enjoy the largesse of the state. When you are traveling in 14, 15 car convoys. I was in a Cropon on Friday. And I saw the convoy of the president. I asked myself, is this the country? The one which
sometimes Pablo, who said more Crawford no be and Kasame come more come politicians. Sometimes any can be a president to call baby. Where we are now convoy now. We are down minister we so now ono so akoka ho na fe dia fra convoy na I said the president na bob
if the president's convoy is short, I am not sure say the president convoy should involve more than 5 cars. Ideally, it should not involve more than 5 vehicles. Among for the we know those who come to join. And I in Casa, a 250 Flagstaff house. Ukra Vieta, or fellow tank and now minimum 1,800 Ghana cedis. So from 0 to full. 1,200 Ghana cedis. It's so offer 10. You're saying
12,200.
And they are more than that.
Okay.
So okay, the fact all these things are things that when the Ghanaian people see, I say it before.
Okay. Mama Sanfan Kofi, the problem to say the Okane but to say ejigu ya ansana ya call COVID no. And we make it look like young kwana samato yen. There are other people who also it's a face. Nanya Ghana kwana cause our face no. By there no I say there I hate yen dodo. Because I say COVID no kai mpenform some more underlying conditions no. Yeah, near underlying conditions to crown sana. Your friend is saying health COVID never hit yen. And the day engineer baby agent near starts in yet.
Rakwe Kasan once me refer to paragraph 4, which we admit as a COVID-19 exposes certain weaknesses. And of course, we were not in a good position. But before that, there are some responses that it dovetails into the Pablo Kanwasemiyano. I was honest enough to admit that we are challenged. Have we failed? No, we have not failed. Omu failure, and I'm glad and some at the same time sad say it's coming from Pablo. Or survey under the NDC administration before, under John Domanma, or he was a chief executive officer, DC. And then now he is the youth organizer of the same tradition.
Pablo, no, you're DC for 2 terms, right?
That's right.
So I am in one
under Mills and under
I am in one so Kasa. Let me tell you, administration or no ajatum so failing. It is one. When, as a result of your own incompetence, one kasa unim said the baby mine, ama or mine sikasem and akot ache. Now you took an economy from 14% and brought it down to 3.4%. Now we need policy credibility. That means you can send to any nyamna. And then you admit that say one, you are challenged. Then finally you admit that say you failed. In April 5th, 2015, when you went to IMF for a bailout, you can't bailout. I say, minim sebisika semto to a nyansani nim Bretton Woods institution come in and help me. That is an admittance of failure, not this one. When we were even asked, admonished by the minority, say you call IMF, what did we tell them? Oh, call IMF, it means we have failed. We have not done that. And you're more than there, and we are not helpless. How can we be helpless when we were doing 0.19% GDP growth, and now we are doing 5.4%, and you are telling me say we are helpless? How do you justify it? Let's speak to the facts. What I say?
Which are facts? No?
The fact of the matter is that during the COVID era, the economy was bad. We were doing almost negative growth. Today, we are doing 5.4%.
Then deliberately.
Deliberate government policies and measures. Reduction, reduce expenditure. Said you can, you know. What I say?
By reduction in expenditure, no, say governments betting in developmental projects. So,
true.
How does that benefit me?
What it means is
because I know I'm a free government to measure whether the government is doing well or not.
But Pablo make his statement, baby. Let me respond to answer some of your questions. Now he talks about IMF, World Bank, and they kind of say our economy was underlined with certain issues. That's true. But the same IMF, World Bank, the same World Bank, April 16th. This is what they said. Russia and Ukraine are two of the world's major grain baskets. Together, they provide some 25% of the world's cereals. Nearly 50% depend on it. And then they went further to say, Russia invasion global wheat and maize prices skyrocketed and are respectively at 48 and 28% higher than in February year 2022. So clearly, even World Bank admits these Ukraine-Russia way no affected where your report on West Africa. I don't think that, bruh, yes, it is true. I know said the economy was challenged. Because 2016 State of the Nation's Address, paragraph 20, by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, or making admittance, say the financial sector is challenged. To the extent that, okay, some Midland savings and loans, obi discuss or 200 cities, the savings and loans they didn't have. To the extent that it took a policeman to beat up a woman. In this country, who discovered a 200? Ebia de 500 abetum o da ne ho abasisia beje bia 100 cities bank beka choices kenyo. It was happening under John Dramani Mahama. We had to clean it up. What I say, na dum so Addo for 4 good years every single day according to ISA you lose $2 million in the midst of all these challenges no bisane say e dey na NDC fa eye boayen and now tonight catch say workers buofu, TUC for buofu, public sector workers buofu near the other. We have no qualms about it. To the extent that even the neutrality allowance grant, I buy you to so obey your home BB. At the time when Ghanaians were suffering, Mpensenmpensenmu John Dramani Mahama, Echo Botswana, and when he was asked, said, "What you may for and who children here, almost demonstrations, strike near the other, and then now we have what you don't catch a Ghana for. Or catch a so you drive funu. No, so kind. Is that the same thing you are seeing today? The fact that we are doing say your challenge, doesn't mean say you are failing. But brother, in all these situations, what I will say,
Midland by you lady now woman, it was in 2018.
As a result of what?
Under John Mahama.
As a result, me see there was a clear admittance say the banking sector. I don't know the policy you're rolling out. I feel I nearby what I say. So yes, now who were a situation in the financial sector. Now say a collapse to the extent say about 4.5 million depositors were about to lose their money. 1.2 million Ghanaians.
From hindsight, don't Munyan who said you could have gone about it in a different way.
We talked about all these things. Just so you know. Now the NDC administration under John Dramani Mahama were investing about 8 billion Ghana cedis already in there. It still didn't solve the problem. At the time he was about to exit government, he admitted, say, "Amwa," and I'm catch say paragraph 20. No. So the best way was to ensure, say, one, we consolidate the banks and ensure, say, a bank will safeguard savings of the ordinary Ghanaian. Otherwise, and can we break or 10,000 cities say be a World Bank, Kabe Kony catch us say 10,000. I say a new way. Imagine what would have happened in this country. So yes, if the Bretton Woods institutions were telling us that there were underlying problems, of course, no, true because of the Ameyaw burning and the incompetence, gross incompetence of John Dramani Mahama. Sometimes me say NDC for Kasa, and then they go about chronicling our challenges in this country. As if said they've never served in government before. The issue of air convoy, for that matter, we want to create disaffection for government. Kachin say, Otnahi, he can assure us, the people of this country, God forbid they ever come to power. So the issue of convoy in ABCZ. He knows it's not possible because of the nature of it. It's not possible.
What's the nature of it?
Wait. You said it. And then how can I know? Unless there is a board and a well-structured attempt, say, the moment the president moves, nobody joins him. But and also very difficult, very difficult to the extent, say, Pablo, I have Penida, on him say, for example, we're buying government are buying districts. Ekuyapimo ekropomu bako. Na also okosra mpenifobi, and no to anamo ekosra ekoshe project bi. So okwa Pablo also di nechi. Mpenifo a ose omoka Pablo humane ko hono so ono su di omechi. Stakeholders omo hono so also omoka about. So for example, if president etuni convoy with 5 cars, he no akodru ho, then the president is supposed to wait for the rest to join the traffic to join him for the program.
Didn't know also money president.
I am saying that.
Because me bow. The reason why I make us say it could be managed, they say. Now no yesu krom no. Uhu enkofo modi vice president echi ebae no. Convoy no. So start a free say o branch the Roma. I was wondering maybe say vice president na eba no. So e can be kire me say nti me bisa a friend saying ema na ka so omu betu no na nkrofo a omo hodoso but no omo person be convoy nti no omo obia ko individually ansa na omo be den omo ba be ko this can be managed if you really want to.
I'm not saying it cannot.
Nti say oka say that it is difficult to do. It
is difficult to do doesn't mean it cannot be done. It can be done, but I'm giving you an idea.
These are difficult times, difficult
I'm giving you an idea, what I say. And so you'll be a Nobeka say for on the suggestions are Pablo prefer. I think sir,
on my suggestion or Teresa more number. And no, just say be our my suggestion or no Teresa there. Oh no, there. Or who's there now more than fat.
Maybe the Edikan say when you are in these challenges and then you do some of these things, at least Obi in as much as it directly you are talking about the fuel cost and idea, it really does not translate entirely into that. Say you 2 tankers, you fuel all of the 10, and then this amount. It doesn't. That exaggeration.
But wouldn't say about Okroma based on resentment.
I understand.
Because the all children say, if my who said the air cost nyina ya so ayehye. Enti no bo brat said the ya so ayehye. Na say who take decisions bi na say who the ade bi beto ekom kra na say ehwe na say dey be ka say well. We are in this together. But it doesn't look like we are in it together. You know what I'm not going to
Abai Abba. So be mame kwanya. We itemize about be nyoma 12. Abai e 2 and more say yeah tiso. It being discretionary spending is to be further cut by additional 10%. Ministry of Finance is currently meeting with MDS to review their spending plans for the rest of the 3 quarters. Call for essential, efficient use of energy resources. Immediate government are imposing a moratorium on purchase of imported vehicles. So I know about 12 of them are taking pragmatic steps. But to conclude on this matter, the Mpensenmpensenmu Ghana for asute ye ni say ye pe abanya odwen omo ho ye kwa amane mu a ni yesu a otie yesu na otu anamo ebema ye ho ahenhan the new patriotic party. So ohwe amane a se bi COVID beto ye so na ohwe anamontu a omampani na Addo danko akufado etu ye to ensure say at the end of the day no Ghana for bebre enwu as a result of COVID. Omo because of COVID no omo adwuma ho akwa atwe ni ntino okushi o devote 750 million for small businesses so that ebia wo benya 1000 ubenya 5000 ubenya 400 ubenya 500 to cushion them. Having said this, I'm not saying that government policies and interventions, no, it takes time for it to take its real effect. For now, yes, I want you to know
he mentioned size of government.
It cannot
he also mentioned budget. Yeah, a call your friend is saying, oh yes.
Any SOE is near that.
No, yes, I know, but Office of the President, budget, or
Office of the President, when the argument is being made about the Office of the President, we understand, we should understand. What's it you want to say? Share agencies in Jumekua, a Office of the President, for that matter, it justifies. It's not like it goes just to take care of the President. There were a mass work for there were 1 district, 1 factory, there were National Insurance Authority, there were a special development coordinator office and a development initiative. No, agencies under the Office of the President. So when we devote money into the Office of the President, it does not necessarily mean say the kosher or manpenin kwane say be presidential staffers. Meanwhile, it also goes to support the development. For example, the Special Development Initiative, making sure, say the ex-spouse or manifesto say, you be making sure say development, be Ghana, baby and crabata baby, and that is exactly
size of government.
What we are doing. For me, Kofi Ameyaw, the size of the government, should be dependent on the productivity. Say at the end of the day, say moye ebia oha, ebia moye 200. I, the ordinary Ghanaian, should feel it in my pocket. You can be 5 and still I won't feel it in my pocket. You can be maybe at 200 and I'll still feel an impact in my pocket. That is how I look at it. What I say.
But how do you see the feedback? Size as it is now.
The feedback.
The
feedback is that we were doing badly about 2 years ago. Now, when we talk of the growth of the gross domestic product, the GDP, it means say the ordinary Ghanaian no owo makola, owo ebia kejetia, owo takrade market circle. Na juma na oye no enyini kakra. Ni ye be almost 0.1%. Now we are doing 5 so that means now on first so at some point 1 cedi and then we be 4 cedis, 5 cedis. Ntin kakra be draw. But we need to admit clearly say enyemo more thing. First let me talk kokoni yesi 1 cedi and then me turn 1 cedi 50 pesos. And yeah, first who fellow tanker and say and they say the fellow tank no. But I'm saying that we have a government. Oho chirewa oti osufre no otu nwana mo. And America say, yen bisa yen nuanom eye NDC for na Ghana for mun bisa mo say, emra mo kwa him as a result of doom so. Na se bi obi oton su e wo kwan ho, babani artisan. Obi oye tire na no ho chire no na say okope generator. When nya generator to na wontimi afford the generator. How are you going to be in business? Oh, your hairdresser and now your beba. At the end of month, na buy NDC buy 2 years, na bema on ato. They never took that steps. Right. But we in the MPP, we ensure say at the end of the day, we are sensitive to the plight of the ordinary Ghanaian.
Pablo,
like I said, the judgment should not be made by Ameyaw Opare. The judgment of what he's saying, they are Ghana for a judge. I don't usually do politics of comparisons, especially dwelling on the past. But sometimes they are very instructive. Say, you best set the records in the streets. Between 2013 to 2015, when I resorted to the IMF, now we were challenged as a country. Now commodities are a trade, The international prices fell. In 2014, we had to go to Parliament twice to review your budgets. Not because na your PCA, but because benchmark you say ubenya 10,000 cedis from oil. Now sign benchmark you say ubenya 5,000 cedis from gold. Now sign benchmark you say ubenya another 5,000 from cocoa. So na me say in the crowd economy Now out of the blue, cocoa prices etito, gold etito, now oil in so tito. They affect revenue or expected. Your economy will be challenged. And these were things that affected the Ghanaian economy between 2013 to 2015. President Mama Kobotswana Kokase Yentubia.
You join Funu.
It's unfortunate how they've misquoted him. And choir spinner on the two, and I blame media men especially. Because when that incident happened, it was a response to a question. Sir, and it was in 2015, just into the election year in 2016. Bizarre, sir. Sir, President, because every government, successive elections, we are more outspending more budgets. And let me also remind listeners, sir, and the problem by a woman, because of the excessive expenditure in 2020, it's in the way.
By COVID.
And I make us say,
COVID can't
I'm for COVID.
And Ukraine.
Ukraine, bad abe.
Oh, they say
our problem was there.
Before 60 days.
And I'm saying our problem was there before.
The last straw that broke the camel's back.
Our problems were there before Ukraine. And then as a Russian ambassador, I said, you just how Ukraine is similar. Because they all know the situation in which Ghana was. Almost started downgrading and now Ukraine in Tokwambayo. What I was saying is, when President Mahama met the people in Mozambique, he said, won't you overspend your budget in an election year? And I said, no, I won't. Why not? Because in my first 2 years as president, I have seen more demonstrations. I will not be pushed because usually workers hold governments to ransom in an election year. And truth be told, in 2016, government did not borrow from the Bank of Ghana. Government also did not overspend its budget.
You did.
Massa. We have had this argument several
You did.
In 2020, in 2016, we did not borrow from the Bank of Ghana. We are financing a budget. So, in 2016, when they won in 2017, we had reserves. Almost 2, and see, Sikani Bibrina COVID.
Obache na almost Omampani Dramani Mama Kase say Sikani Diama.
That was in 2013. That was in 2013. At the time I fear in 2017, 7 January.
Now don't pay develop a flesh.
But we left them money. And then no longer say COVID stabilization fund sika on the year COVID. The first 300 million on utilize it. On the 2 years sika they started one from 2013 and on the 2 years. To the extent that almost all government agencies near Jessica so we did a restructuring, right? Make software.
And you are saying it is because you did not overspend in 2016 election.
That is because the overspending in an election year. And that is what happened to us in 2013. Because in 2012, you overspending your budgets. These are honest admissions we cannot run away from. But in 2016, we were prudent. We kept within the budget limits. So when they came, they did not have to struggle. And almost time they inherited prudent economic management policies. So the whole of 2017, they were running on policies of Setekpe's administration.
That's not true. How can we run on your budget when you introduced your budget in March 2017? How can that be
possible? Budget. By the time appropriation bill on the past away in August, and I make out was no economic policy. No economic policy. And it taking effect within a year. No economic policy anywhere. If you tell me I'm lying.
You are lying.
but Kofi,
so you see,
Kofi, your friend is saying we know until I'm say feedback no. What's the verdict nanko for the atoso EIU 4 years survey and saying as some more can say share said the nyama esikwa. There is a strong likelihood say and I'm summarizing it. There is a strong likelihood say NDC by winning elections. Most especially, they are very revitalizing on prospect crowd and say, Ombesesa candidate. And I've spoken to other political scientists. We are almost so say, well, once it's a candidate crowd, so almost it's a running mate. No, they are with me. But they are more can say the likelihood that mobile co-opposition is very strong. And I'm sure that will be the verdict of the people. Say, the year can ya o different there o chere there mo ye bia nipa ni so
Rakweku Boni beka tried knowledge say aban bia ba especially in the Fourth Republic utwa mfie wotwe a ebe den say obeto aso akobio nti enei ukobisa Ghana ni nipa be edua ubenya mu be nsia obeka choso na say o di 8 years time also but that's not the only reason. In fact, the same EIU report, Ed say and they alluded to a downplay what has said COVID and the Ukraine-Russia war because I bet man you memu aye den more. Inti no na Ghana for hwesisia. Na ya kan say we Mimi Kofi any MPP there. Ye di tum prekope with that report say Ghana for ebonjo the ekoso ntinize to aba emube diamaye. That notwithstanding, we have an opportunity to make things better. 2 years Pablo can be say government policies it takes a year blah 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 to take effect. Mami reminding me, Pablo. The last quarter.
You was talking about economic policies.
Yes, economic policy is what I'm talking about. Government economic policies. The last quarter of year 2012, the NDC and administration overspent its budget to the tune of 4 billion Ghana cedis.
2016.
2012.
2012. Yeah, he admitted that.
Me make an argument.
Okay.
They overspent it. 4 billion. And on the man, President John Dramani Mahama, Ebeka say, "Ya nam naka dompino," and it really affected him. And he admitted, say it has affected him. So even the last quarter, 4 months, September, October, November, December, no, because of that expenditure, no, it affected the economy largely. Then I made patch 2 years, 2 years, so not 4 months, enough for any political party to make amends and to restructure and realign its policies, whether social or economic policies, to find favor with the people. What is clear, say yin to or man pong, not just infrastructure, but developing the individual Ghanaian. And my brother here, respectfully, is a youth organizer. So he will understand when it comes to developing the country, especially the MPP and then the NDC. We, in the MPP, have developed the Ghanaian individually more than any government in the history of this country.
How evident is this?
It was our policy that ensures, say, about time, say, we are now about onyemwa, okwa warsoa, and you say a Jusika. Yemreso, a MPP are buying Emreso.
Okay, President Kofi
Emreso, MPP tradition.
But I will not vote for or against you based on what you did in
Ghanaians will vote according to the track record of the tradition.
So the tradition, no track record of the tradition. The CIA, there is a new leader.
And there will be another
new leader. And you know,
don't disrespect the voter.
No, I'm not disrespecting the voter.
Exactly
I'm just telling you, sir.
You are not saying, are you telling me, say, Ghana Ninu Kotwala, on just oppose, say, the NDC as a political party, Omunya Quenya no moba bemwa, and then no moye as against MPP nya Quenya, Omoba bemwa, don't meet me ayama. Are you saying,
if anything, measure 8 years old?
No, a Honda may can be able say. Say, you are not careful as a people and ensure, say, let's look at the way these challenges no buy and a montua will be true. Now you catch them so what if you watching into no. Let's look at the performance. And I'm saying that we have performed better at any point in time. Whether Mpensenmpensenmu Kufuor and Addo Kufado. It took the MPP under Addo Kufado, His Excellency, to ensure say Ghana ni bebu bi also call a secondary school. Ebekwa sikasemu nya consider. It took the New Patriotic Party under His Excellency Addo Kufado to ensure say ye bebu no a anase omo wie eye suapon na omo nya adwuma no. At least he will provide about 100,000 jobs. Though challenge, by the end of the day, you hope for the Ghanaians say at least there's a government and you more or dream. So I am saying that yes, the UIU report no, yes, some preoccupy. That notwithstanding, party ma it's say when you look at the statistics, it means say unya MPP for no omu year juma. I'm talking about the rank and file of the party. A year juma epuba ebe tuaba. Emma, the New Patriotic Party. Now we are NDC for so yeah the same. It will take some people in the middle, the rational voters. We are about 10 to 12%. Doing the policies and the programs and the laws at both government to implement. Intimate MPP for. Say yes, the report has come. We are unpopular, we admit, but it will require your hard work, your dedication, your commitment to the traditions and the principles of this great party to ensure say be breaking 8, no? Because you are breaking 8, Ghana for be kwa pinisiemu, and that will include them. Because anytime I am NDC an opportunity to lead this country, no, omo be you na Ghana for si atwetwe. Na Ghana for ho chire wo.
Kofi me miss a question am Pablo. There na ofo say Ghanaian voter ejina so de to aba.
Ohwe na brabom na sitinem Say be okodwom a sika ene ebia na meyi 200 and na me di kodwom ebia na mekono me hia be 280 cedis 300 ebia cedis ohwe ni nyina the young person ohwe abano anamuntu a otuo in terms of addressing the unemployment issues say mpokra wa anya bia otimi di nani sisimbu mekai. And I'll give my practical example. I was in the UK 2004. But now Oshe Mampeni Kufu na memuo na no obuno, and you have your peers. Obu aso me teller, me cashier. But Oshe na bra boma wa ware or ne ma wotimi renti baby or wenya ka bia waji loan or you're comfortable. When I looked at those factors, even though I was living in the UK, I was like, I'd rather come home, complete my education, and find a job to do in this country. So the youth and the voter will look at all these things before Obekwa Kotwaba. And it's clear and evident, say, the NPP administration and one who provided this hope and aspiration for the youth of this country, and two, to ensure, say, obey enacted laws, policies and programs implementation. But for COVID, look at where we were going to.
Okay. Pablo.
Yeah.
So, according to EIU report, no, move to me win elections, but this is most some candidate. Most of some candidate have been more. A camel plans on.
I've read the reports. 26 pages or something. Page 7, page 8, and a carve out political outlook. There is nowhere in the report that says that we should change our candidate.
No, I say what to revitalize.
To revitalize doesn't mean what kind report now? The report is very clear that the NDC will win, but a change in candidate will revitalize
the prospects.
It does not suggest change of candidates. It admits that we will win. President Mahama, and I'll say this with no apologies, the best bet for the NDC, and we all know that. The NPP is troubled with all the negative lies against him. No? And the NPP knows the 2020 elections, they did not win, if not with what Jim Mensah and Crawford. So, with all the things they said about him, somebody who got 44% as a sitting president, turning the fortunes around to make claim for the presidency in 2020, they know. And so, yes, we respect the research work, but I can confidently tell anybody that the day President Mahama decides to contest, will be overwhelming support from the NDC. And if he contests in 2024, he will be president of this country again, without any apologies. Let me come to some of the issues about what the NPP stands for. The NPP stands for failure. The NPP stands for corruption. The NPP stands for deceit in Troning Kontompo. And when I listen to Yenuanum NPP for the data, reality, and supporting some of them catchere and now be fixing them so in Ghana for what they have added to the electricity grid in this country. When people work, we all admit that Doomso was a challenge, but John Mahama resolved it, fixed it before he left, and his promise to the Parliament of Ghana was that sir, electricity challenge is now not yet encounter. He will fix it before he leaves. He fixed it. And our President Kufuor had free maternity bar.
What was the problem?
Doomso. Generation.
It was never generation.
If it was never generation, and you see, we've made this argument severally. Mobile, I come for American come back. American innovation, I come return American. More return car power. Like Amonsha said, we will not be behind in generational. So Oga said it's not generational, then you don't even know what the problem was. Because Akosombo had gone to a halt. The challenges that confronted Akosombo. Akosombo was our biggest until these other sources are joining here. So generation was a major problem. So you can sit here and say the generation was not a problem. Those within the sector say generation was a problem. That notwithstanding, say Ukra free maternity health care near the hospital in Noah, the government that has built hospitals, the government that comes and then puts in place legal framework for Momo policies now when they brought health insurance. In 1998, they started pilot health insurance that work in Tampo. Omobile introduced health insurance. Nkranza, sorry.
St. Teresa's Hospital.
Yes. Omobile introduced health insurance. It was a district health insurance scheme. Your health insurance card until
Mutual.
No, it was within districts. So Ukra were Kropon, a Krapim Norfa, Ubankra and Yejuma. The legal framework for what we have today was what President Mills came to work on and passed. The same with youth employment. When they introduced youth employment, there was no legal framework. There was no funding source. And they passed a legal framework. And then they were 1 year. When they came, when Samuel became board chairman, now you Jessica 12 for 1 year. He can go and double check. Could be able to be the chief executive. There was funding. There was a direct source of funding, properly aligned with the budget.
But that the source of funding was
I'm sorry. So I say proper imbra ababe techiri. NAPCO. I'm on for legal framework for NAPCO. There is no legal framework. You claim that 100,000 people jobs, yet the unemployment rate today is still higher than what you came to meet in 2016. So where are the jobs? The stories they tell, and as the same no more.
But Ghana unemployment, yeah, it's many figures, Papa.
Oh yeah, there are figures. Is it?
Because me, yeah, now before the figures, Nina, I guess it.
No. There are figures. Let me tell you something. SNET in 2014, 2015. The number of companies, new companies that register with SNET was about 14,000 plus.
From
a lower figure.
Okay.
If I go on my phone, I can get the figures for you. That same year, over 400,000 new workers were registered on SNET. And once payment starts coming in, you are able to, I'm only saying to back the statistics figures I want. So it may not be 100% accurate, but you are able to gauge based on performances and assign indicators. It's, when you tell me that we're increasing employment, and I want over 100,000 people jobs, I expect to see that unemployment will come down. But today, we have the highest unemployment rate in this country.
But
under the so-called government.
Of course, if you have to judge it by registration or a was neta,
that don't say that, my patron. I'm telling you that today, unemployment rates
a cost
are higher than in 2016.
And they all bet me there who's
you asked a question about whether people are having jobs. So are you saying that NAPCO employees in our government is not paying SNET for them?
Is government paying SNET?
That the government is offending the laws of the country.
But government SNET,
because SNET.
Government SNET man Kufana.
And then I buy that tumbra.
Allowance.
Because yes.
Allowances.
But who says allowances?
Okay,
once the person is in employment, or surround upon a coba.
In fact, I've not checked. I don't know. I have to be honest. I mean, I check here, but does it look like NAPCO for SNET?
I will find out, but I don't.
It doesn't look like it.
But then clearly, then the government is in breach of our own laws. So if our body can employ 100,000 people and not pay SNET for them, then we are in trouble. So that's the so-called 100,000. Now I say I employ them, then we are in trouble. But I mean, that notwithstanding, you asked a very important question. So then I will be sure. So they are two. Your economic condition in 2016, plateau, and your economic condition today, are you better off or you are worse off? was sitting in when eto saying was sitting in 2016 eto saying ye to Obama buying say ombra number on fa impum to ombra ya bra bomu. The average Ghanaian average Ghanaian and you're worse off than he was in 2016. And I'm not the one saying it. The various reports that have come out suggested the same EIE reports confirms it. It's a binary to Obama and some solving a problem. The government has rather become a problem. I'm not here solving.
Oh, until Ghana for solve government.
But this government is more of a problem to the Ghanaian. Now, problems are they are buying we from the week in, week out. There is one scandal after the other. In the last 3-4 days, 3 weeks, 2 weeks, there is a serious problem, and sadly enough, the Ghanaian media has glossed over the issue of Sewa Broni. I'm not talking about promiscuity, but I'm talking about a young Ghanaian woman who lives in Canada or alleged say the president led armed robbery against him, against her. Say ye no crow, say ye true. This is an allegation that
led or staged.
Led and staged. What is the difference? To stage or to lead? The ladies' argument, they say, leading argument, they say, or say President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo instigate here. Say you be robbing and now you engine the phone because not the president air trimp now. And now or what pictures? And our president now assume say or what pictures of him. Into yes man national security operatives. We have heard voices allegedly of the former CID boss. Any other people in government voices. We have also seen videos and pictures of our alleged acts. Meaning, this is a serious issue that borders on the reputation.
But why are you saying Ghanaian media are glossy over it?
Because you see, it's a Chrome when I saw Papa no assembly by. Saw the euphoria all around it. But I can understand why
are you creating the impression that Ghana media at time Papa no people were not for former president.
But today we all know who the Papa
is. Yes, but not
who the Papa no is.
Tinubu said nam for person a former president.
And I make us
say Ntuba said your time John Mahama near Donna now.
But we all know that the media in this country has not been fair to His Excellency President Mahama.
We don't like him.
For whatever reasons, we have not been fair to President Mahama. And you see, we ain't been glossy over this. It is the obvious truth. The ills of this government, in nema ye hu abai we ehono. Any semboni abai we edi, chronobo, ketasese, any proya akoso. We have not given it the same prominence we gave under His Excellency President Mahama. And let's not do this to ourselves.
Yeah, there na moderate measure. Say, a man for a man, your friend saying.
The level
prominence.
The level of importance attached to some of these issues. When President
and I'm saying, how do you measure it? How do you measure it? Because
Mahama,
now you are talking about Sewa Broni.
Yeah. But Sewa Broni, if Sewa Broni had happened under President Mahama, I can assure you, sir, the clergy, the media. No, let's be very honest. We all know how we treated President Mahama in this country. We all know. Even statements he makes, but when he was making a reference to it, and how the media carried that story, knowing very well,
that's all the passion you would have had.
Because it is painful. You treated President Mahama, and how we treated inept, dishonest, and incompetent Akufo-Addo.
Okay, you're not here from Rembi. What's it?
When I started.
When I started.
Why can't you?
When I started.
But mommy, 2 minutes.
Okay,
1 minute simple.
Okay.
O camera na me hwe na we.
O de hwe de be so bia.
Me be say Ghana
for ba kwa so pehwem. Those are so. Who's the way so?
What I want the people.
We are so him.
Me be say Ghana for ti asem. Me some nifa we so. The youth organizer of the opposition party. And on this platform, you're doing comment about enyoma enko ye ni ahokyere a adokoro Ghana as a result of some factors. Na our opportunity to speak to the youth of this country. Or wakwenya so ne Ghana fo be di nkomo a. De ehia no nie. De ehia no ne asem wei. Ghana fo munti o, enti na de bia ka kire mo se ye ka se abanya odwen Ghana fo ho na osu ye ho kire yan oti ye ho akire yan no ye pekwan eyi ye ho afirim no. He has sat here. He has never provided any solution to our challenges, but rather dwelt on these trivialities.
All right, so hello, I'll come back to. But we'll be setting up for beneficiaries in Chestnut. Maybe I told you if I can free.
Pato, your friend Abolu, mi freshi alaju.
Common sense.
Mr. Common sense.
Common sense, yanko.
Pato, mi pato, sa survey. Common sense then the woman say Dr. Mani Mahama or your popular person our NDC mo eneno so we did that cassette the needing any ma yet me we need power. Common sense in Chile say no your popular and carry the day. And then the whole Ghana both NDC ni NPP Dr. Mani Mahama a popular chow bia Pato media maker I can depend say one say NPP in trouble no much try no. Under John Dramani Mahama, meaning unemployment, no, I have 4.something%, and over 13%. It will be such a soft than and measure unemployment, no, because statistical service, never checking, and unemployment under Nakufadu. So call Napco for now, almost for Muno, and then we part out, you want to meet Mammy who said, Napco for almost that will do memu, and I say a pamomu, who part out to me can't say. And then Nakufadu, in the second term, Nita over 8, and Anna Ewu, and then news Emma a clergy, me can't actually say, Omupo, former president of the man, Mama, about the GS you consume, Pato, Uminyami.
But I say, Abolo say, or Nanka Whoopers or the say, Sawabro issue, no trivialities.
A figment of his imagination. And I can understand why for him a trivial. But so Unyaba, any akobone chrono or highway so and we cut through the spain won't say trivial. So our brony is Ghanaian. Therefore, issues of national security, we should all be concerned.
We should all be concerned. Mammy for a man. Hello.
Hello.
Maybe I told you if I call free.
Me didn't great. Me free estate.
You battery no man so crana yako.
Madam was in it as my palm with Magana. Hello?
Maybe I told me to Campayanco.
You see, Madam was in it, my palm with Magana.
Yes, sir, that's it.
Yeah, Miss Fro, Munka Tempi, one I can be man or so, or got a to her. Then Trodden is sent Yamano, we are Mujana, Gana for Yanko.
Also, I had then.
Is a more cow, no Gana for Yanko. Or no call you can only listen at UK, can only listen at Profonite. Can of course, I do know your giants, I never know. Oh, yeah, then again, Yakara, can I do?
Yo, yat, Kofi will be an aquara. And no, intimate medasiminia. So
people are angry. It is all that Snahanomo as a government spokesperson, and then you come and sound this petty. And issues are a bottom. And issues are bottom.
You have been extremely
petty. Say it is not important.
Which are
so be it.
No, wait.
But the Sewabroni issue.
Sewabroni should be a topic for discussion.
When the president of the republic is being accused in any proper dispensation, any proper jurisdiction, by now a state inquiry would have been set out. For
based on my for man, so na based on Nema Bakumi no miensa. Maybe I told you if I call free. My TV no volume no conform. Why TV setting? All right. So based on Nema Ben Sana,
the first thing is when an allegation is made against the sitting president of the republic. The first thing is maybe the Chief Justice. A committee will have to be set for it to even say by establishing that there is a premium facie case against their ECOSOC. So that we put to rest our argument. Mind you, it is the first gentleman of the land. We have seen photos of the lady riding in the presidential jet.
Photos. Me bacho udini fa kwa free.
Ampa to me kasa free da ban. Ididi Moses.
Yeah, community.
Mo ganjire MP to an say the way ya no betina radio tunity so ya mo kasa no. Ye hu de mo ka mama bresu. Ana ye ne bio ya mo just have intro na ya na mo masa ya sai na kura ne da hanu ma mun ye bi DNT. Masa me taxaba anne masa me ka saya. Masa mayan kansam ebufu oni pa mo ya mo kana kura ne ya mun shira mo. Sai o da kana kura no jero pinti ya say but can't no be huri. No kwapa na tata ka tra MP2.
O ba ta obetna o say oniema mu ade ono ankasa age atum.
Masa yo. Wa me say masa intro mo twetwa to NDC so. And no na mo do mo na tiem say pata.
The pictures, no, not yeah, because
so you've seen pictures.
No, he's making a point.
You've seen pictures of somebody and what's our presidential jet. And mind you, there are rules governing people who can ride in the presidential jet, even police vehicles, because they don't carry insurance. They don't carry passengers in. They are not supposed to.
So why did you? Why?
So
when you know your issue, I don't know friend no triviality.
Me say, when the callers, 3 of them that called. Whether genuine or
not. Me fa last one in Kahona. Me fa fourth one in Kahon. Me pa cho dini fa kwa free.
Hello, your friend Nampa. If you are crying town.
Okay, yanko.
I to catch MPP man say, mani your phone no. Angana heading. Omuno makro for those who Ghana.
MPP for nama akromfo adoso Ghana.
Yeah.
Aden.
You might be any one thing, and your chrono no more. Man, Nigana, and your chrono conformable.
All right. Now, analyze the trend.
You see, Yatnaha, Ajia Chumupekope. A year, your callers, including even the fourth one. I don't say one in Yuma, some sitting in my full prices. And then you have a political party. Or potential of becoming a government. Penia or that omo mebuno no dom frev no ano. Na nkoma wadi in the last 10 minutes. Any sound komo we ya. Mewra ho a.
Yes, wa broni no.
Mewra ho a.
Na me family last caller. Me ba cho o na we me last caller.
Hello.
Me ba cho di ni fa kwa free.
Me ba cho me di ni Alhaji Musa.
O free.
Musa, me free Sabozungu.
Yanko. O ti ono ankasa no, mo ni wi. Nti Kofi.
I won't spend any additional time.
Do you feel government should, I mean, presidency also a statement to the Babonton on this? Because it looks like
we are. And I catch on say, "Adia ma o man penny onda ne dana kuma so say e kwan ben so na Ghana for e betimi e free ya hu ye hia mu ayo mu sisi a." Ti no all cost wa so mo man ne sompa e den hyehyɛ ya gu akwan mu a o man ne sika sem be pagya. E mabunu benya nnwuma ye ya kwan a asɛye ye be ni ye ne ye foforo. And the infrastructure that is going on. That is why the NDC is not engaging on issues of the economy or infrastructure in this country, and as to what they will do even in times like this. But they are basing on some of these, because an agenda for them. That is why he's pushing the media. Some can say, and this is not what Ghanaians want.
But is it not true, sir, particularly if a prima facie case is established, an impeachable way say?
The Ghana for dream home, any Ghana for person motie, any kwanya, mebunu benya adwuma ye, kwan ben so na adwuma for market you be so mo kodwomo betimi ato aduane ahwe omo ho ne omo ma ne omo busua kwan ben so na betimi aye ya kwan yie kwan ben so na betimi asi more hospitals, more schools, kwan we mu so ni nyoma we ne ye patie. And I'm making the point for the last time that indeed the Ghana for Pablo. It's an indication and a confirmation say they have nothing better absolutely for the good people of this country.
Pato, we've debated issues from the economy to
You never preferred any solution.
It is not for me to
Any
prefer
alternative.
solutions to you.
Any
Because
alternative.
even when you too for Kramunti, so it is not for me to profess any solution. But the Sewabroni issue is equally important because he's also Ghanaian.
All right.
So every Ghanaian life matters.
Okay. Me did the Koku Owusu George Opare Addo, youth organizer at the National Democratic Congress. And so now Kofi Ameyaw. Kofi Kwa Uwo Brofu Devi Ameyaw say Frederick Kofi Ameyaw Brady. Fred. And so I'll call you and Ghana permanent missioner or head of information. Menso so me na me Koku Owusu Nyankopon ya adoma ene we 2 to 6 yensan share radio so na yemo aduma china no pa so e be sa ba nyame nkamu na mo bye bye.